Alright folks, how you doing? So in my last video, I talked about what I refer to as the sisterhood. In other words, an intrinsic part of female psychology and female nature is that women defend each other. And here's an example of it from a previous analysis from Dr. Kirk Honda, Psychology in Seattle. This is, let's see, this is when Zay confronts Cole over the bachelor party.
Okay, so they're asking her.
One thing I will say though about Chelsea, she is nowhere near as terrible as Zay. Nowhere near.
What do you think when you see that? And she's saying, yeah, I could have shown more grace. All right, that's good. And then she's saying, I've never lived with anyone before. Okay.
I mean, if you could put a face to passive aggressive, it would be Zanab.
But that doesn't mean the tone, right? And I hope they show that first day when they wake up where she's convinced that he's being complete jerkface and she really is hostile with him and seemingly unfair. Hard to know. Again, I think she was
Not hard to know when you know what you're dealing with.
triggered in the moment. Also, I hope they show the wedding. That was.
Anybody order fried sauerkraut? Burn you Nazi bastards!
I don't know how y'all took it, but I watched this.
I took it as a very good example of why you don't marry a narcissist. The thing with Zanab is it's very poorly concealed what she truly is.
Scene and then went upstairs. My wife was watching the show as I was watching it down in my office. And we both agreed, like, yikes, there's a time and a place, right? You can certainly, if you have some things to say to Cole, say those things, but don't do it at the altar.
Well, that was assertion of control. That was ripping him apart because Cole could not be controlled. My suspicion is that he's a normal, and narcissists cannot control normals. They're beyond their control. So because they couldn't control him, she destroyed him.
Like,
Yeah.
get out,
Yeah.
because I like my things in their place. So it was an adjustment.
I think so many things.
Okay, here we go with the sisterhood. Watch this. And is it Brendan his name or Brennan? The French poodle? My God, this guy is such a bitch.
Things happened off camera. He's like likable when you're watching it, and I just knowing what I know, it's I don't know, it's
Knowing what I know. See how women defend each other? It's not just female nature either. This is also how narcissists control appliances. As HG would explain with far greater clarity than I ever possibly could. But the thing about certain type of narcissists is they do recruit what you could refer to in fictional terms as the flying monkeys, if you know the Wizard of Oz reference. They do recruit attack dogs and lieutenants to go after people who have offended them. And Zanab's particular type of narcissist is evidently quite good at that.
it's hard because I think Zay is such an incredible woman.
Hey, Linda! You're a bitch!
Hold you.
Interesting. So
See, Zanab is actually quite effective
Alexa is saying,
because Zanab actually managed to recruit attack dogs to go after Cole.
Release the hounds. Well, neighbor, I see you've got your running shoes on. That's a good thing.
behind the scenes and not included in the edit were a lot of issues.
Again, this is why I say that Dr. Kirk can be such a simp at times, because he just doesn't see things clearly enough. Gives people too much of the benefit that it's clear to anyone watching the show that Cole is not evil. Cole is not a wicked man. And it's very clear that Zanab is the one in the wrong to anyone who's watching it with any discerning eyes.
With Cole. So she's claiming that Zay was given a bad edit, a deceptive edit. Yeah, it could be. So if that's true, what I would say is that, yeah, it's possible that Cole had things that were cut out because they're trying to make him look good, but
So there is no way to possibly give Zanab a good edit. The more you show of Zanab, the worse she looks. And the more you show of Cole, the better he looks. Because Cole is, I suspect, a normal, possibly an empath, but I'm pretty sure he's a normal. Zanab absolutely is a narcissist.
They left a lot of stuff in that made him look pretty bad. But when
Like what?
they just have behavior out in the open, it's hard to misinterpret it, or it's
If you wanted to make Cole look better, show more of him.
hard to see it as an editing issue. Anyway, and by the way, they talked a little bit about Andrew and his tears. I don't know if I reacted to that, but
Oh,
they
who cares about that
actually
shit?
took a little bit of time. Pretty big interview. Anyway,
Skip.
tracked he can't.
Anyhow, don't ask me why, but I bought one and I was fucking creative to something like to. What are you doing, Winston?
I'm trying to fast forward you to the punchline. Get to the end of the story.
Girl's
Brains.
number at the bachelor party or something.
Yeah.
Now, again, this is just Zanab's word for it. We saw the footage. If you saw the season, go watch it if you haven't seen it. Compare and contrast the bachelor party with the bachelorette party. All the bachelors were at this rodeo. There were no females within like a mile. Whereas the bachelorette party, they were at a strip club. The men had the most boring bachelor party I've ever seen in my life. Whereas the women had probably the most exciting bachelorette party I've ever seen. Go watch the season if you don't believe me.
And they even talked about that.
Here's another attack dog, a flying monkey. You know, again, also the sisterhood coming into play.
Fly, my pretties, fly! Continue the research.
There was
Wait,
plenty of things. There was the
what?
body
Look at Cole's exasperation here. Like, what? Because we've seen the footage. If you watch it, watch the bachelor party. They're like sitting in a country bar.
shaming that we saw
I got a
on
girl's
TV.
number at the bachelor party.
This is revision of history. Assertion of control, victim mentality. She's basically trying to shame him and make him look bad. And it's all going on in the creature, the subconscious.
Well, you told me that right before
my
our wedding.
God.
I would put money on it that didn't happen because I know what I'm dealing with thanks to HG Tudor.
Wait,
We
No,
got
I
together.
didn't.
Yes, you did.
we
Yes, you
didn't even
did.
see girls. We were at a rodeo.
What is happening right now?
Yeah, a rodeo bar. There was no women around. This is how you nail the narcissist. You bring everything out into the open because typically the narcissist, particularly this level of narcissist, this type of cadre, makes a lot of shit up. And the way that you defeat the narcissist is record everything and hit them with the truth.
A tangerine thing? What is that? And then, did I miss something? Was there a tangerine? And then Zay is claiming that he told her that he did get someone, he was hitting on someone. So
No, this does not sound like the behavior of a normal.
if that's true, and Zay knew about that, so that's Zay's story. That's Zay's truth. That's her name.
It's not her story, it's her narrative, victim narrative, paranoia narrative,
Narrative is that, and
narcissist narrative.
I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just trying to piece, because my whole conspiracy thing of like, do they really wait until they get on the altar to make a choice? I mean, that's silly. No one does that. So her narrative is the night before the wedding at the bachelor party, he tells her, I got someone's number. Well, I guess that could fit, right? She could be like,
Now we're going to run a few tests. This is a simple lie detector. I'll ask you a few yes or no questions, and you just answer truthfully. Do you understand?
Yes.
No. And I think also this comes from what Cole has said in interviews, that he made it clear on the day of the wedding that he was going to say no. I believe him on that because Cole is a normal. He was not going to marry Zanab. He was, as he said, and I believe him when he says this in interviews, that he was going to continue dating after the altar, but that was an enormous threat to control because then you wounded the narcissist by essentially telling them that they're not good enough. That's why she went in on him the way that she did. That's the reason for it. When you know what you're looking at, you understand.
well, I'm a no, but I'm not going to say anything until we're at the altar because it's just in a few hours anyway. So anyway, but he's denying it. Let's see what happens.
Guys,
Yeah. Thanks, baby.
I saw you.
Oh, Brennan, man, you just want to slap the fuck out of him, don't you? There is such a thing as a weak man, and Brennan is very much a weak man. Very weak. All the women don't realize that Zanab is manipulating them. Zanab herself doesn't realize that she's manipulating them. That's the part that you really need to get your mind around because it's all happening at the subconscious level.
you before the wedding, and you told me. You said, I do have something to tell you. I tried to kiss a girl.
Look at Cole's reaction. He's completely, taken by surprise, exasperated. Because this is the revision, this is the wild revision of a narcissist.
Girl
What?
at the bachelorette party.
Oh my gosh. We didn't
And I
see
was
a
like,
single
Cole,
girl.
what did she say?
Yeah, watch the footage. The footage backs him up.
And you were like, no, you said I'm engaged.
This is weird because
That's not weird if you know what you're looking at.
I don't know what to believe
I do. Believe the normal.
on complete different stories. So I'll tell you that
Against the victim mentality and paranoia of a narcissist compared to a normal going, what the fuck is going on?
as a therapist, couple therapist, family therapist as well, I will see stuff like this where not usually this elaborate.
Yeah, you've been dealing with narcissists and normals for years and you haven't realized.
Can he play? No. He sucks.
Elaborate though, but I will hear very different stories. And
Yes, the narrative of a narcissist and the truth of a normal, wondering what the fuck is going on.
depending on which story I go with as a clinician, it kind of sets in motion.
As an empath, you mean?
Because if he did do that, then it's like, wait, what? Or if it was in that direction, you're like, okay, what's going on there? Or if she's making it up, lying, or
Oh, you think so? Took you long enough to get there, Dr. Kirk.
is that distorted? Obviously, that requires a different clinical direction. So sometimes I need to get some sort of guess as to what. Sometimes I'll just address both, but this is pretty extreme. I've seen a lot of people come to me with different stories about an event, and he's basically saying, I didn't have an opportunity to do this. And plus, like, can we imagine that Cole would do that? That he just, well, I guess we could maybe.
No.
Everything that guy just says is bullshit. Thank you.
So if I was to take a stab at it, I would say that something did happen. Maybe it wasn't that severe, but it was in that direction for Cole. And because my whole conspiracy theory is that Cole and Zay early on, weeks before the wedding, had decided that they weren't going to get married.
Or Cole had decided it. Xana was still looking to assert control because that's the creature in operation in her subconscious mind.
And then they've somehow over time, or
though Xana may have realized at some point that Cole as a normal was impossible to control.
Or decided right then as to who was going to say no to who and what their performance would be like at the wedding. Again, I have no evidence of that.
I do. It's called HG Tudor. It's called Narcsite.
It's just complete speculation. And then because they had that agreement and because they were broken up, he met someone and is like ready to start dating again. And he's like, you can date too. We just can't get in trouble with production, right? He might have even got permission to.
This is fucking stretching it. Come on.
Date or something. Who knows? And then he goes to Zay and
right, skip.
This is such a crock of shit.
Okay, here we go.
You said I'm engaged to get married, and I just want to kiss.
Hang on.
I don't know what
went
to
too far.
Maybe we'll get.
Well, I do know what to think, Dr. Kirk, because I'm not an empath.
Data.
We didn't
And I
see
was
a
like,
single
Cole,
girl.
what did she say? And you were like, no, you said I'm engaged to get married, and I just want to kiss one more girl. And she was like, no.
Look at her eyes, looking up, because this is the creature doing all the work for her. Why is she not looking at Cole? Why is she looking up and away? Because this is the creature revision of history.
I think the phrasing was, I don't do cheating. And
Literally
I said, Cole,
never happened.
Cole, it's great. I'm a liar. I'm bipolar. You're
Passive aggressive. Xanab is absolutely insufferable. If you know someone like this, get the fuck away from them. Once you know, you go. Logic defense is on.
words.
Yeah, I mean, Zay's story is pretty elaborate and specific, but Cole is completely denying it, and
of course he is, because he's telling the fucking truth.
Seems believable-ish. If I was
believable-ish, this is why I get so pissed off at Dr. Kirk. You know, I got a lot of downvotes in past videos, and that's fair enough. But do you understand now why I was so harsh on him?
To put my money down, I would say it's something in the direction of what Zay is saying, but I don't have any reason to believe that Cole would do something like that. Plus, there is the evidence that they were on camera and the bachelor party, and I thought it was kind of
The bachelor party was the most boring fucking bachelor party I've ever seen in my life. As I've said, you could count on one hand, with plenty of fingers left over, the amount of women you saw on camera at the male bachelor party. You want to flip around the other way, though. Different story with the bachelorette party, wasn't it? Double standards much?
Subversive of the show, and I think it was on purpose, that the women went on what would be considered more of a masculine stag party or
No, not masculine, hedonistic.
bachelor party where they go to a strip club, whereas the men they didn't do that kind of stuff.
To me, do not do anything for or to me anymore. They don't. They did back then.
Look at Vanessa.
They did.
Say, I'm not the one trying to hurt you right now. You're making up a story. There wasn't even girls
Making up a narrative. This is what they do.
at the saloon
No,
we
you
were
guys all hung out after the cameras were done. Y'all
Here we go. Here's the Sisterhood, right on schedule. Here's Nancy, another flying monkey, doesn't realize that she's being used as an attack dog by the narcissist, because the narcissist behind the scenes, Xana, will tell the girls this story. And she will get their sympathy and get them on side. And now they're going to go in as her lieutenants. Some narcissists are very effective at doing this.
all went out somewhere, and I
No,
don't
we
know the
didn't.
details, but
I don't know yet. Yeah, you don't know shit.
That's what I was wondering, because he keeps hammering on the saloon and the fact that there were no women at the places that they were at. And I'm like, well, at some point the cameras packed it in, so it's possible that you did something else. And yeah, so, and it sounds like Nancy knows that the men
Nancy doesn't know. Nancy was told.
all did something afterwards, and he's not mentioning that, right? So yeah.
I don't know, man. I was black.
Oh, here we go. Much as I called Dr. Kirk a simp, here's a real simp.
It's a poodle. Fed it on Belka. This is gonna be cool.
I don't know, man. I was blasted, bro. I had like 20 shots and then like 20 beers. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, and we didn't go anywhere because of that. We got Ubered home, dude.
Y'all know y'all went
I know
somewhere.
that.
Y'all
I mean,
always go
after
Y'all know. See what I mean? Certain types, particularly a female narcissist, are very good at getting their fellow sisters on side to act as attack dogs, as flying monkeys. This is what we're seeing with Zanab, with Raven, with Nancy, with Brennan, and with what's the fat girl's name? Alexis or Alexa, something like that. I can't remember.
During the bachelor party, I mean, there were no girls anywhere on it, and then I jumped in an Uber after the.
Okay, look at by the way, Colleen, the way that she's kind of looking at Matt. That's his name, Matt. Matt's in trouble here for standing up for Cole. I promise you. The minute that they get home, he's sleeping on the couch, and he can expect a few dishes to be aimed at his head. Look at the look of disgust on Colleen's face. If you were wondering why she's giving Matt that look, I've just explained it.
After the bar, no girls anywhere on it.
Okay, hang on.
I mean, after during the bachelor party, I mean, there were.
So here's Matt actually standing up for Cole. Got to give him props for that. But I guarantee you it cost him.
No girls anywhere on it, and then I jumped in an Uber after the bar.
Okay.
Look at that look. It's almost like a look of betrayal. Like, how dare you? One does not betray the sisterhood. And if you're a woman and you're watching this, you know what I'm talking about.
So the other fellas are kind of backing up Cole's story.
No, one of the fellas is backing up Cole's story. Brennan was too drunk. He had 20 shots and 20 beers, which clinically would be enough to kill you, by the way. So he's obviously exaggerating.
Sorry about the mess. Mr. Soprano, Greg Gerwin, you got any luggage? Good, Tim.
That doesn't mean Cole didn't do something without them. It's also possible Cole did nothing and never said anything along those lines. And
Hallelujah. It took you long enough to get there.
Zay is lying.
You think so? A narcissist making shit up and lying?
I guess the evidence in that column is that at the wedding ceremony, she made a decision to, I think, go completely off script and blast him on the altar.
She made that decision because he rejected her and made her feel unimportant and weak because he said that he wasn't going to marry her. That's the reason. It's that simple. When you tell a narcissist, when you reject them in any way whatsoever, you make them feel powerless and weak, and they will do their utmost to assert control over you and regain control by absolutely destroying you. And that is what happened.
I don't think we've ever seen that before. I mean, that's not lying. She wasn't lying when she was blasting him on the altar, but she has it's sort of,
No, but she was contradicting herself an awful lot.
it seems out of character for her, but
No, it's very much in character when you know what you're looking at.
it's clearly not, because she did it. And she has a desire, or she feels righteous in blasting someone publicly. So that's kind of in the direction of like just making up a story to make someone look bad. But you'd think if she really wanted to make up a lie consciously, that she would make up a more definitive lie than that, right?
Well, it depends on the sub-school and cadre of narcissist.
Because that
There are certainly far more effective narcissists than Xanab.
lie or that story is not great, but it's not as bad as what you would think she would come up with if she were if she really wanted to get him, like, you hit me one night, or I don't know, something. So I don't know.
Yeah, but there's cameras around, so you need to back it up.
So I don't. That's news to me. I'm not saying anybody's right or wrong. I'm just saying
And I'm not.
Oh, don't backtrack, Matt. You've already put your foot forward. Don't backtrack. Come on, man. Don't get weak. Don't get weak on me.
Not saying
I have
anyone
no
else here
idea.
told me, so that's like not third-party information. That is direct from Cole's mouth, telling me that he tried to kiss a girl and got her number at his bachelor party.
Cole, do you really not remember this, or is she?
Oh, look at Vanessa chiming in. Like I say, here's the sisterhood. Just in case you ever doubted me in the last video, do you believe it now?
Possibility is that someone did tell her that wasn't Cole, and she doesn't want to out that person, so she just changes that detail, and Cole is her.
I think we can skip this.
It's not even that I
because
don't
you
remember it, Vanessa.
literally-
This is literally impossible. I don't know what to say, Zay.
Look at the way that all three of them are looking at him.
The truth. You can start with that.
Okay, Nancy. This is what I was saying in the last video. I could never be on this show. I'm too much of a hothead. I would go after Nancy for that.
Why do you hate me, Nancy? What did
Because
I do?
Zenab is my girl, and everything that I know happens behind closed doors. Like,
That you
it's
don't
not
know
shown
that
on.
Yeah, I will
See, this is the sisterhood.
say that individuals with a particular
Skip.
drama.
Right, and that is your saving grace, Cole, is that they did not use it.
Is
Because
what?
so much of that stuff, the pushing food away from me, asking if I'm gonna eat that, trying to get me to order a salad, the daily comments about my face and my body were not used.
So we'll probably never know what happened. So I'll just
Yes, we will, because they did release the cuties footage, and you can check that out anywhere on YouTube. We do know what happened.
talk about, like with the trial, I'm like, well, we have completely different stories here. We'll probably never know what really happened.
Yes, we will. Skip.
I fight.
About you because I still cared so much. I did.
Just doesn't make sense. Like,
No, it doesn't, because
everyone, like, I'm
certain types of narcissists contradict themselves all the time, like lower level ones. They're always contradicting themselves. Xanab literally, when she was on the altar, contradicted herself from one word to the next. She was contradicting herself every few milliseconds, not even seconds, milliseconds, if you go watch it.
if I was that horrible to you, it just doesn't make sense. That's why
Yeah, it doesn't make sense at all.
that's why I asked you the bipolar thing. It's because it's like,
See, that's a case of Cole not knowing what he was dealing with, but knowing that something was wrong. He just didn't know what was wrong. He just didn't know what narcissism was. Possibly he still doesn't know.
how confusing is that? That if I was this horrible the whole way through, but
Yeah. So as they both talk, I'm like, oh, I'm swaying kind of back and forth.
I'm not.
I'm not committing. Of course, I can't know.
I am.
No, right? We can't.
I can. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there.
No!